Etifu ni ashefo hai daily update TV so hana ba benya trending news ekoso Ghana fa na nyina yesase na ni di Ghana ba ni di no book so na subscribe mines na benyi news bia no so bia obenya notification of phones na ba be shafe so betin so ahye ama adam fo so ni bia hwe yesem yengo so ita major issue Asenso Boakye atake ne wakast ni Vộte TV na broadcast TV no and some chaos bi ayetwa na nya some wa yes oni police for ni din kitanwa mini nim de esi wo but we nkwohwe nsema esi wo ave na say Japan groups no kakra enso chaos kakra Kesi esi wa nya some kitore kam ni nkwo Bantama constituency ba na the obia ye de abrem etefo bia nyina ha ya na benya latest ni nyina wa o de mo bia nyina na nti some young good things and course Bantama.
It set this up to be a titanic clash.
You see, and on the state of play on Thursday, I said something. If Raphael Japan loses, it will be because of his brother Kennedy Japan. And this is the reason. The element of surprise in the presidential primary is known today. The element of attacking people all the time is known. And so people would no longer sit down for you to attack them. One man, always, I will expose your party. I will expose my party. I will expose my party. What you're beginning to see, and listen to the chairman. The chairman immediately, he's told, oh, but he said he's coming, so he's not camping. He's actually going to check.
Yeah, that's actually a fascinating pronouncement, especially when you just received the complaint.
Exactly.
And already the chairman has dismissed it. His first answer was, oh, there's no camping.
There's no camping.
He hasn't even spent time to probe, but he knew what happened.
No, he knows. He knows actually what is happening. And this is the point for me. I mean, how in God's name do you tell me that I woke up this morning and I said I'm going for devotion, so join me, and then they both join you to go for devotion?
So delegates then,
decide to join.
From the chairman, what chairman said,
chairman is saying,
follows Asenso Boakye
to a devotion.
To devotion.
I don't believe that story.
And his opponent.
Well, they say that on the day of election, there cannot be any canvassing, there cannot be any.
Exactly.
So exactly what kind of devotion I go to do with delegates on the day of election.
I am saying I don't believe that story, but it's because Kennedy Japan is fighting his party, and the party system would not allow him to be a second-time Likee. If he polled so many votes, about 37% of the votes in the presidential primary, they would not allow him to actually hold the party to ransom again.
You want to clip his wings
exactly through this. And this is where I say his brother becomes his Waterloo. Now watch this carefully. Raphael Japan is a man of the people in Bantama. Person for person, he's loved more than Asenso Boakye in Bantama. This is a man that can sit down and say that
early on that 88.
Okay, hold on, gentlemen, because there's more happening at Akroma. It's part of this constituency, and this is the constituency where you have the Greater Accra Regional Minister coming up against Moses Abor, and it's going to be a keen contest. And already disagreements, and I'm putting it mildly. I want to bring in Sweetie Abochi, who's there for us this morning. Sweetie, what's happening? Okay, we'll try and get her in, but as you know, this is your election headquarters. It's brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. They make it possible for us to bring you this unrivaled, comprehensive coverage from across the country. Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Hello, sweetie. What's happening in the Yawaso Central constituency? Please unmute. Okay, let's fix that. And why is the Yawaso Central constituency important?
Because it's the constituency of the Greater Accra.
Oh, hold on, because I see this gentleman wants to say something.
No, that was before the Bantama one.
Okay.
We should not forget that the president himself went to Bantama to throw his weight behind the candidate.
And that's an important point.
But the president is the most popular person in the MP.
No, I mean, I get the point, but at least the executive leader of the country signaled, and let's not get it wrong, in many areas, I mean, except for the Formina engagements that happened previously, in many areas, when the president signals that this is the way I want things to go,
people comply.
Because
people comply.
He still has some control, except some may think that in his dying years or months or so out of government, you might not think.
But here's the point on that. Did Asenso need the president to be there for him?
Yes, he needed the president.
Considering his own strength in the
constituency. No. At that
considering his performance.
No. At that point in time, he didn't have a lot of strength. He didn't have it. You needed the president to actually send a certain signal, which then would get other appointees.
That's true.
And you've seen us say Chairman Sabonsu using it at a point. He gets some of his colleagues, even from the other side, showing up in Swami at the time to say, we need to say Chairman Sabonsu in Parliament. What the president's visit does for you is that it gets some of your colleagues.
But that is true if the president is still that popular in the party. And as we know, the president's own popularity in the party has waned over time.
It has.
And he's a lame duck now. It comes back to my point. Did he need that?
So the point I'm making is that there are still appointees who are loyal to the president. Okay. No, they're not delegates.
But they can also bring their constituency to you.
I mean, they can bring their.
Okay.
I mean, they can actually bring a voice to you and say, let's bring Asenso back to Parliament. And that's the reason you need such a person to show up there for you. And so when the president says, Asenso is my son, help him win the election, you're actually telling some of the key persons in the constituency. Persons like
hold on for me. Asenso Boakye is voting now on your screens, as you can see. He is now in the queue. He's taking his ballot papers, he's thumbprinting them now, going to the electoral officers who are facilitating that process. He just turned to look at the ballot box. He's looking at how many votes are already in there, and I'm sure he's thinking how many of that is mine. He's now just approaching the ballot box to put in his ballot paper. And of course, he's voted for himself.
Of course.
He's done with the church service.
Well, he's done with the church service. The church service that has become a very contentious issue this morning. Just for those who are still listening to us on radio, he's gone into the booth now. He's about to put his ballot paper into that. Well, he's going to thumbprint now in the booth, and then move to put his paper in a ballot box. We're going to walk through this for you because we're going to try and get a quick word from him also because our correspondent is on the ground. Yes, he's done, and he's just getting out of the polling inner perimeter. He's having a conversation, I guess, with somebody who I believe is his agent. One other person has come to talk to him. They are ushering him out of the place now. He's having a conversation. Why is this important? Because as we know, Kennedy Japon's brother Raf, Japan has filed a complaint this morning that he has been camping delegates when he went to pray. In a church, apparently.
Exactly.
And the delegates followed him for morning prayers. We're doing morning devotion. And that has been reported as camping. We'll try and see if we can get a comment from him. And my colleague is doing that. Let's go there. Let's get a bit of the sound in so we can get a sense of what is happening there.
Are you ready? Can we go?
Been watching on your screens there, Asenso Boakye is currently in a conversation with the police officers. We don't quite know what's happening, but he seemed unhappy with something. And he is currently now talking to the police officers, gesticulating, asking them to do something. We don't know what. Our reporter is with him. We're trying to get a sense of what is happening, at least, if not from Asenso himself, but from our reporter, just to give us context. He's finished voting. He was being ushered out, and then he stopped. Started speaking to the police officers, asking them to do something. We see two police officers, at least in our shot, people are beginning to gather around him. He himself is yet to leave the premises. We'll get you context. Nanaya Aljuma, can you hear me? Okay, we'll try and get Nanaya Aljuma in, but we expected this to happen in Bantama. There's been a complaint today. It has been dismissed. Even before an official investigation could be launched into it, immediately by the constituency chairman. Asenso Boakye is currently just finished voting, and we've seen what appears to be some, disagreements over this. We'll get clarity from our report. Okay, we're getting some clarity now. Let's hear him. Okay. Okay, we'll fix that.
I mean, one of the things you want to know also from the constituency is the numbers that have showed up immediately after the supposed church service.
Yeah.
And so after the church service, you have a lot of people showing up to come to vote, for instance. That could actually help you determine whether or not, these are persons who just went to the church service or went for other things under the pretext of a church service. But we need to know, because he seemed a bit unhappy having a conversation with the police. I don't know what he was telling the police. But of course, that is to be expected in Bantama because of the stakes, very high. And if you are Asenso, you want to do everything. You want to make sure you win that election.
Indeed, and we'll stay on this particular story for you as it unfolds in Bantama. Our reporter will give us context. What really was he complaining about as he started gesturing to the police officers to act in a certain way? We'll fill you in pretty shortly. When we know, you will know. Our correspondent will join us. But I want to come to the Ayawaso Central constituency right now, because as we've been reporting, there is some developments here. And I say here because this multimedia, it's situated on the piece of land which sits in the constituency.
For winning news, I was a for Pemasama news where air cost one year some kitu just a Bantama, why Likee Tv Be some kitu in Japan. Ninia just a Nini Chucho Mucho, also any Asenso Boakye, incumbent a MP no was seen any education or a Bantama some kitu. Just I would say, sir, or do you when you're just for a gentle about comments as a face of it, so I say, I'm more than for Sonny Biashe. Subscribe my points in opinion, latest news be announced, hottest news be a issue of force. Yet the will be as of by the